Hello and welcome to Nexus. This week we're featuring stories about Tasmania, the island state of Australia, and about lifestyle. And remember, you can log on to our website for more information on any of the stories that you see on the program. So what's on Nexus today? We'll cook up some of Tasmania's finest seafood. Remember the days when the Rest Point Casino had just opened. And sneak in some music from one of Australia's hottest groups. But first, the Theatre Royal in Hobart is Australia's oldest working theatre. It was built in 1834, and no less a person than Sir Laurence Olivier praised it after he performed there.
La 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 la.
The foundation stone of the theatre was laid in 1834 and the theatre opened on the 6th of March 1837. Although the Theatre Royal has some of the disadvantages of this sort of theatre, such as the columns, which people don't like sitting behind, and some sight lines, it still has atmosphere and quality. It's a lovely theatre to work in. It has excellent acoustics. It's a classic three-tiered horseshoe-shaped auditorium. When you stand in the middle of the stage as an actor, you know that you can talk immediately to everybody. It seems to embrace you, to wrap around you. Laurence Olivier, when he was here in 1948, in a curtain speech said, "This is a beautiful little theatre and we love playing in it. But it's more than that. It's a place where your parents and your grandparents have watched performances. It's where our grandparents and our parents have played. And it's got atmosphere. The secret of atmosphere is antiquity." And he ended up by saying, "Never let it go." When the theatre was first built, it was said to look like a two-storey house, and in fact on the outside of the building you can see where the windowsills are, the stone sills of the windows. Underneath the stall's floor was a tavern. That tavern only lasted for 8 months because when the theatre opened, the tavern was more frequented than the theatre itself. And I can imagine people coming up looking at the performance saying, "Oh, I don't like that, I'm going back and drinking again." So that's why the gentry of Hobart decided to close it after 8 months. In 1951, the Duke of Edinburgh and Princess Elizabeth were due to come here for a Royal Command performance. The managers of the theatre decided to sell out the Command performance at £100 a ticket because the theatre needed bad restoration and badly needed repainting. They did all that, they spent all the money, they cleaned it all up and made it look beautiful, and then the King died, Princess Elizabeth didn't come here, and they had to give all the money back.
The blaze broke out about 3 o'clock this morning. It took firemen about an hour to bring the blaze under control, and detectives and fire authorities have been at the scene most of the day.
In 1984, there was a fire. It was a terrible mess. The old lady smelt foul for about 2 months. The people in Hobart rallied hugely to the fundraising process. The theatre now operates much better than it did before the fire, in fact, and is run by the Theatre Royal Management Board, appointed by the government, who have taken responsibility for the building. It's now national estate, and it's there heavily protected by everybody, and very much loved. It's a very spooky place to work here by yourself at night, and you can imagine all sorts of things. But if there is a ghost, I'd like to believe that he's the ghost of an actor who died during a performance in the 1880s, and he's never been able to take his curtain call. There's a letter here which Laurence Olivier sent after the fire supporting the theatre's fundraising scheme. He said, "The Theatre Royal Hobart is a gem of a place, and how well I remember it. It must be the oldest theatre in Australasia, and it should be most highly regarded for its ancestry as well as its acoustic qualities